Welcome. In front of me I have the TCL 60 SE NXTpaper, and today I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device and its specifications. So let's just get straight into this. We have two seals to cut through. There we go. So right out of the box, we have from the phone itself. Just pop it out of the paper and start the boot up process and take a look at what's else in the box. In here we have a gray, light gray case, paperwork, basically instructions and all that stuff, and at the bottom we have our Type A to Type C charging cable, and that's actually about it. So that's not much in the box. So let's move over to the device. In terms of the device, it's a bit lacking in terms of appearances. It still feels a bit kind of dated, if that makes sense. Not the newest looking device, and it was released on March 3rd of 2023. Now, sheesh. So it is a relatively new device. Now, in terms of the general aesthetic, it also kind of has this kind of couple-year-old design with the two-tone kind of design right here. This being matte and this glossy. Plastic frame, though it's plastic imitating brushed aluminum. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to show this all. You can kind of see it right here. So yeah, it kind of looks like a brushed aluminum, but it totally is plastic. We have a bit of a bezel at the bottom right here, and generally chunkier bezels for 2025 phone. Now, if this device costs below $200, I will say that this is completely fine. But oh damn, it actually costs 200, even below 200, 190 euros. So this is actually a pretty okay kind of look, I would say. Now, let's go into these specifications, because that's also what will kind of matter, and something that I will have to say about this as a kind of comparison to other devices, which will basically put shade on this one specifically, or this kind of design. So let's begin with the display. This is a 6.7-inch display with a resolution of measly 720 by 1600 pixels. It is an IPS LCD display, that's what I meant to say. 120 Hz refresh rate with a typical brightness of 550 nits, 85, almost 86% screen to byte ratio, and a pixel density of 262 pixels per inch, covered with a NXTpaper technology, which is basically the screen right here. Now the NXTpaper is basically a matte finished glass right here. It's not like anything, you know, super new, and calling it technology is just kind of I would say stretching it. If you can scratch your display enough, it's matte. It's not technology to scratch something, or I'm just kind of trivializing this because this isn't obviously scratched. This is just finished like in this kind of matte way. But yeah, anyway, moving on. So let's now talk about the cameras. In terms of cameras, we have what looks to be a dual camera setup. Main one being the 50 megapixel f1.8 aperture, 26mm wide lens, and then we got a 5 megapixel ultra wide. Now with this camera, you can record videos up to 1080p at only 30 frames max. Not the most appealing kind of result right here. And then at the front we have a 8 megapixel f2.0 aperture wide sensor that does also 1080p 30 frames. Now I want to point out the screen is matte, but the camera area right here and the glass right here is actually glassy, so the camera can actually see normally through this area. Obviously through matte surface photos would become kind of blurry and all that stuff, so that's why it's skipped right here. That's why you have kind of this glassy area. Now if we move over to the internals of the phone, we have 5200 mAh battery. So for a site like this seems to be pretty normal battery size, which leads me to believe that it's not using a silicone carbon battery. And I'm gonna quickly just double check if I can actually find the specification. and it's not mentioned, so yeah, I think it's just a normal battery. The reason I'm pointing that out is because for a device released in 2025, nowadays most of the Chinese phones come with silicon carbon batteries, which with a size like this would equate to more like 6,500 milliampere battery instead of the 5,200 that this one has. Now, additionally, we have a Dimensity 6300 processor in here, 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of built-in storage with expandable storage using micro SD card. So that's pretty good. It's running Android 15, and that's basically everything that there is to the device. One more thing that I didn't mention is the charging speed right here. So we have only 18 watts of charging speed through the cable with a obviously charger that can provide this charge. So it's not super fast charging for a phone in 2025. The RAM size is also kind of, I would say, okay. I do want to point out one thing that there is on the box. Let me just bring it up. So let's get rid of this from here. So right here we have already marketing a BS that it's 18 gigabytes of RAM, though it's 8 plus 10 RAM. That's absolute lie. That's misadvertising. That's not legal. If you're gonna say that it's 8 plus 10 and then RAM, it implies that both of these numbers are RAM. That's not the case. Only 8 is actual RAM. The other 10 is popped straight from the storage. So that's ROM. So it should have been RAM plus ROM. There you go. You got the definitions correct. You just try not to put them together because it would be, well, obviously not very good for advertising. So you're trying to scam people with this, which is this kind of thing, a response from me. Not a very good design. So don't look at this number. When it comes down to cheaper phones, don't ever look at this number. It's absolute bullshit. In reality, what you're going to be looking for is always primarily the smaller number, which in this case it's 8. That's the actual RAM you have. And to be completely fair, this phone could have up to 256 gigabytes of RAM with this logic. So, you know. But anyway, so I just wanted to point that out. Now, the reason I'm kind of pointing fingers specifically at this is because advertising something that is stored as RAM is blatant, obviously, misadvertisement. It's a lie, and for people that don't know what the difference between this, you don't know what this costs, right? So let's put this in a simpler terms. If we use storage as RAM is random access memory. That's the definition for it. It's used to basically rapidly access this specific storage for data that is being kind of written over very frequently, changed, and so on. Storage like SSD or ROM in here is a storage that degrades with usage. So when you convert it to RAM or use it as such, it will damage the storing capability of it over time. Something that RAM is designed not to be bothered by. So when you're using it as such, obviously you're contributing to a faster degrade of the phone itself. So that's one. And number two, RAM itself is much faster in accessing this kind of storage and reading and writing it compared to the actual storage itself. So there's another reason why this is moronic. If that would have worked just the same, desktops would have been running terabytes of storage, or RAM more like, but we don't because it's idiotic and it doesn't work like that. So with that rant out of the way, let's go into the last kind of thing, which is the price tag. This phone, if you're looking for it for specifically matte finished display, stuff like that, is fine. I do want to say it's not great, and I do want to give you a kind of a overview right here. So what I personally look for in a device is the features and the price for said features. This phone's feature is a matte glass, and other than that, I guess we can classify 120 Hz refresh rate as a feature, but at this point 2025 that's just standard, so it really isn't standing out too much on its own. The resolution is low, battery size and charging speed is low, RAM is low, the processor is not fast, Storage is only one option, 256, which for most people will be adequate, but just wanted to point that out. And for about 190 euros, it costs the same amount basically as the Nothing Phone CMF Phone 2 Pro, or CMF Phone 2 Pro probably would be the shorter option to say it, which is going to be much faster device with better cameras, about the same battery, faster charging, better processor, more RAM, more storage, better display, as in resolution, and also type of the display with higher brightness, which obviously for a phone that you're going to be looking for most of the time, I would say that is a priority to focus on the display. And you probably would, at least in my case, I like to have my display be the best part of the phone. So I like to go for something that is an AMOLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate with a decent brightness. This is none of that. And the reason I consider this kind of a standard for me is because when you have a phone like the CMF Phone 2 Pro, it literally offers all of that plus more for the same price. And I want to point this out too, so I'm gonna bring in my phone. I'm just gonna clean up the display. So here's my device. It's also rocking a matte display, though this is just a tempered glass put on here. Also not cleaned completely well. Okay, a little bit better. So if I unlock it and just kind of showcase something, let's see. You just also make it a little bit brighter. There we go, good enough. So you can see as a matte display, it looks pretty good. It has that matte surface. Not sure if that is hearable. So yeah, it has matte surface right here. Basically everything that this device offers. But the difference is, this one is a little bit more, what's the word, has a bit more texture to it than what I have right here. But in general, this glass costed me about $5, if not less. And it's tempered glass, which when it gets scratched, I can replace it. When it breaks, I can replace it easily. It's just gonna cost me $5. Here, when you scratch this, not so much. And additional problem with this is you're not gonna be able to really apply tempered glass to it because it's not gonna want to stick too well to this kind of matte surface, right? So that's one problem that you're gonna notice. With matte glass, you're not gonna be able to protect it. And if you are, you just gonna make the display look even worse. So matte finish to glass and tempered glass, stuff like that, do make the text itself seem a bit blurry. And now, depending on how well the glass is made and all that, it might not be as noticeable here, even though it's a bit more textured kind of matte finish. I can still see pretty well basically the details on the display, but they have this kind of fuzziness to it. And that's something also that the tempered glass has. I don't want to put that like, you know, don't want to make it sound like, you know, tempered glass is the best, right? But what I'm getting at is you can have a normal surface screen and put a matte finish glass on this and have the same effect while also protecting it. And here you're paying a some portion of the cost for this display, which you can get on any phone, normal phone. So with that in mind, that's why I'll most likely recommend going with something like the CMF Phone 2 Pro and plopping on there a tempered glass that is matte finish, and you're good to go. You basically have this device that's better, and when you scratch it, you can replace it. So yeah, that's my kind of opinion. Now, nothing CMF is not sponsoring this at all. It's just my personal kind of opinion here. It's the device that I find that is offering insane value for money, and that's why I always recommend it. There is roughly nothing that really compares to this phone. It's, to me, surprising that they even make profit on it, if they do, considering how good the phone is and what it offers for how little it costs. This is a low-end device. The CMF phone is more like a mid-range to high-end device for the same price. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. It sums it up. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.